Who should be the Pac-12 commissioner? One thing I think you guys know, I don't pretend to be anything I'm not. So I don't really know the ins and outs of what makes a good commissioner other than leadership, something I think Larry Scott was very much lacking. But if it was me, I'd be tempted to look outside the box, towards Hollywood or towards television. Being that LA is in the imprint, being that there are a lot of USC and UCLA grads within the media, and some ASU and Arizona as well, and I'm assuming all the other Pac-12 schools. But if you want someone who can navigate the world of TV contracts, who can navigate the world of new media without being overly reliant on new media, so maybe that's a place to look. Of the names that you've heard, I've heard, I'm most intrigued by Oliver Luck, who was the AD at West Virginia. He was commissioner of the XFL, and its downfall was more of Vince McMahon trying to save a buck during the pandemic than actually trying to get the league through. He was also executive vice president for regulatory affairs of the NCAA for about 5 years in 2014 to 2018. So he knows that landscape as well. So I think Luck would be very interesting. Obviously, there are ties to the West, ties to Stanford with his son being Andrew Luck. I'd also look at the fact that, again, he's done it at multiple levels. He's been involved in MLS. He's been involved in trying to bring football back to Houston. He's been involved, again, with the XFL, with being an athletic director. So it makes a lot of sense there. I know a lot of people are intrigued by Alabama AD, former Arizona AD Greg Byrne, where I think he could do some good things. I think he understands the conference, having done some work at Oregon, having done some work at Oregon State, having actually graduated from ASU, which I know a lot of people don't like, having been the athletic director at Arizona. But I'll be honest, I'm kind of troubled by his time at Arizona with really just an awful track record towards kind of protecting female athletes, whether it was from abuse, physical, mental, sexual abuse. There was a couple rape scandals. There was obviously the incident with Orlando Bradford, or incidents. There was an incident, obviously, with the assistant coach and the athlete, and I just think too many balls were dropped there to make me comfortable with it. And I think, with really, if you look at it, his best move was really the move to High Corbett for the baseball team. I think the hiring of Rich Rod was good, but I think there was a lot of negatives on his track record. Also, I don't think he gets a look, but I'd be intrigued by a guy named Dave Hirsch, and if you're not familiar, Hirsch was the vice president of communications for the conference. His tenure lasted about 23 years. So he predates Scott. He was with Hanson back in the day, the old Walnut Creek days. But what I like about him is he has a long track record, the Pac-12, and unfortunately was kind of caught up in the furlough and layoffs and was never seen as a Larry Scott guy, which I think is a big thing. But he knows the conference. He knows the landscape. He's a guy you would probably recognize if you saw him, if you followed Pac-12 athletics. As I know he's been on the podium at times at the Pac-12 championships for basketball and things like that. But if I was a betting man, I think I'd go with Oliver Luck, Greg Byrne, or maybe Gene Smith, the AD from Ohio State.